Hey everyone, Dave Prowse here. Here's the tech question of the day for January 27th, 2017, and the topic is email security. Your organization is concerned about spear phishing. The CEO wants to improve the overall security posture by proving where email originates from for all email messages. Take a look at what we have here. What two things have to be performed in order to implement this desired security control? And this is Outlook 2016 that we're using here. And I'll give you a moment to pause the video before I come back with the answer. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to digitally sign the outgoing messages. We want to digitally sign the message so that the receivers can be assured that the email's coming from where it's supposed to come from. This is a level of trust that we want to build up here. So we use a digital signature. And we're doing this in the Trust Center. So I'm going to close out of this. Again, this is Outlook 2016. And I have my newsletter here that I just sent out for January. Sign up to the newsletter if you wish at my website, www.davidlprowse.com. But anyways, what we do is we go to File and go to Options. That brings up the Outlook Options window. Then we go down here to Trust Center. Then we click on Trust Center Settings. And that brings up the Trust Center window. And then we go to Email Security. Now, at this point, we need to do two things. We want to use a digital signature, but first we need some type of digital ID. We have to obtain a digital ID, which is based on a certificate. And so we can import that by clicking on the Import/Export button if one already exists, and we'd have to browse for that file. Or we could obtain it from a company such as DocuSign, and we do that by clicking on Get a Digital ID. And when we do that, that brings us to a link. And it brings us to a link on Microsoft, which helps you on finding a digital ID or digital certificate service from DocuSign or GlobalSign or whoever. But we need that certificate. We need that digital ID first before we can do anything. So that's the first part. Secondly, we have to go and click the Add Digital Signature to Outgoing Messages checkbox. You always want to okay this type of thing and then go back and make sure that it is checkmarked, because right now it has a gray background. You want to make sure that it's working properly also, so you want to do a couple test runs. But you have to make sure you click this, and these are both accomplished in the Trust Center in Outlook 2016, and also older versions of Outlook such as 2013 and 2010. Versions beyond that, like Outlook 2007, the navigation is going to be a little bit different. So that's our email security. And at this point, all outgoing messages that I send out from Outlook will have the digital signature applied so that people getting the email can verify that it is indeed me that's sending the email. And that's what we want. We want to know that the email is coming from the CEO or it's coming from the actual person that you're dealing with. And so we use that digital ID or certificate, and then we select this to add it to all outgoing messages. Now, if you do have a digital ID installed, that can prove your identity for individual messages. If you didn't want to collect this for all outgoing messages, you could just do it on an individual basis by going to the options of the actual email. And that options tab might not show up until you install that digital ID. In fact, it shouldn't show up in the individual email until you install that digital ID, that certificate. But you could do it individually at that point if you want. But in a lot of cases in organizations, they want it for all outgoing messages. So we do that right here. And if you get a question on an exam that's based on this, the answer they might be looking for is to add the digital signature to outgoing messages, or that we need a digital signature to prove ourselves and to accomplish the goal of this of incorporating the security control known as the digital signature. Having the digital ID or certificate is the first step, but that's not finally ultimately what you need to do. You need to add that digital signature to the message, either individually or to all of them here. So that might be the better answer given the two. If you see it on a test question, on an exam question, it would be add the digital signature to the outgoing message or messages. So that's the answer for today for the tech question. I'm Dave Prouse. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at my website, www.davidlprouse.com.